Hello everyone, my name is Q. I'm an undergrad here in CU Boulder. Today I'm going to be presenting to you about my project on the spider web simulation, which I named Weblications. This presentation will briefly summarize about the spider web structures, backgrounds, going over my existing progress and future work directions of this project. I'm sure everyone here today is familiar with spider webs, but just a review. A spider web is a structure created by a spider out of a proteinaceous spider silk extruded from its spinnerets. Its purpose is usually immobilize the spider's prey caught inside its webs. And here are a few types of spider webs. The spiral orb spider webs are the most common spider web. This is the one in the picture. This spider web looks like a wheel with spokes. Orb weaving spiders and their webs are typically found outdoors. Tangle webs or cobwebs are a jumble of threads typically attached to a support system, like a corner of a ceiling. Cobwebs have the same lack of structure as tangle web and often collect dirt and debris. The funnel webs are large and flat horizontal webs with openings at both ends so the spider can escape. The funnel spider web can feel the vibration of the prey once the prey is on the web and immobilizes it so you can bring back to the funnel web. The sheet webs are a flat sheet of silk between blades of grass or branches. When creating sheet webs, spiders spin a net of crisscrossed threads above the sheet. Flies end up hitting the net and bouncing into the sheet web. If the sheet web is damaged, the spider quickly patches up any holes or tears. In this particular project, we'll only be focusing on the most common spiral orb webs. So why are spider webs structurally strong? There are two factors that contribute to the strength of the spider web. First is the silk. And spider silk is to be said 5 times stronger than steel. And spider webs can react differently to different type of forces. For example, if a light wind blows on the spider web, the spider silk will soften and become more flexible. The second factor is the complex design of the spider web. The spider web is structured so that if a single strand of the web breaks, the strength of the web increases. If a larger force is applied to one part of the spider web, the silk in that part of the spider web becomes stiff, and one or two threads break while the rest of the web stays intact. So here's a picture of this orb spider web construction cycle. So the spider releases a sticky thread that is carried away by the wind. If the breeze carries the silken line to a spot where it sticks, then the first bridge is formed. Then the spider cautiously crosses the thin line, reinforcing it with the second line. Then she reinforced the line until it's strong enough. After the first horizontal line, the spider makes a loose thread and constructs a second thread, making a Y-shaped line. These are the first 3 radii of the web. Then a frame is constructed to attach to the other radii. After all the radii are completed and the spider started to make the circular threads. At first, non-sticky construction threads are made. The distance between the threads is so wide that the spider can span the width with her legs. Finally, the sticky thread is woven between a circular thread while attaching the sticky thread to the radii. The construction thread is removed by the spider. Then the web is completed with the non-sticky radii and the sticky circular threads, and the spider can rest and sit in the middle of the web with her head down. So here's a summary in words of what the picture described from the last slide. So my project goals are really straightforward. Since so much work already been done about the material of the web, I wanted to focus on the structure of it. I wanted to make a realistic spider web using the same matplotlib Python environment we used for our homework simulation models. I want to make a model as realistic as possible so we can extract meaningful data from it. Now I'll introduce different types of stress to the model to see if they behave similarly to the real spider web. Then I will extract the data from the stress test and analyze them to provide a useful table of the most effective structure. So here are some important variables I want to have in my simulation in order to meaningfully mimic a real orb spider web. First, we have the orb web area, the area enclosed by the outermost sticky spiral, then the number of the radii in the web, and then we want to have the number of sticky spirals in the web, and to follow that up, we will also want the number of non-sticky spirals in the web. And then we will calculate the ratio between the sticky and the non-sticky ratio spiral turns, which ends up to be actually around 6. And then finally, we want to have the MASH, or the distance between the successive sticky spiral turns measured along a radius in the eastern, southern, western region of the web as a length from the innermost turn to the outermost turn divided by the number of the turns minus 1. So this is what I have done for this project so far, building the simulation model. So this is the first page of the code, and the following 2 pages will also be the code. So here I declare most of my variables I'm going to use. So here we have the main simulation with the setting up the spider web with different number of radii. And then we also have the function below that graphs the non-sticky part of the spiral, which is the inner spiral. Then we have the spiral on the outside, which is the sticky spiral. So here we have a video of the actual simulation. Here you can't really see, but inside the sticky spiral is actually spiraling up, as you will see a little bit here. And then they will have the outer sticky spiral. Yep, it's definitely taking its time. And we have a complete spider web right here. As you can see, the simulation is still very basic and the project is not yet to be completed. Currently, I'm working on adding the stress variables to the simulation, but here's what the project future will look like. It will have more randomness added to match a real spider web and not so uniformly distributed, but I guess not too random that it's unrealistic and not very meaningful in any way. Also, I would like to have, meaningful stress added onto it, like maybe rain, gravity, or prey running into it. And finally, I would like to find algorithms that simulate the behavior of a real spider web more, because so far I haven't been very successful in trying to implement such algorithms into my simulation. So here are some of the background information references I used for this presentation specifically, and yep, here they are. So I apologize for not being able to be there in person today, but here is my contact information. If you have any questions, any concerns, or just want to discuss about spiderweb simulation, please, just email me or give me a call. And thank you all very much for listening to my presentation today, and have a great day.